another day in Los Angeles, I guess. So I have a lot going on. A lot, a lot. Going. So I'm still on the phone with Amtrak because there was no investigation. Still no investigation. Some white woman decides to put her arm around me, who's I'm not her relative. I'm a little dark to be her relative. Not to say that that couldn't happen, but I don't know what was going through her fucking head. But she put her arm around me because I'm in the disabled section. And I call her on it and she has nothing to say. But then she decides, she's just going to fucking talk to my service animals. So I call the train attendant over and I say, hey, I don't know what's going on here. Could you look into it? He's like, you can't accuse people. I'm like, the fuck I can. I fucking videotape this bitch. So because of that, I was pulled off the train, stranded in Seattle. I had to get a hotel. I'm spending money on a hotel. I'm spending money on food. And I called them up today and they have nothing for me. They have nothing. Dante on the phone tells me, call Amtrak police. I'm like, well, shouldn't Amtrak police have called me? Shouldn't Amtrak police have called me? I mean, I'm the victim here. I have it on YouTube. I live stream the whole entire thing. I also have videos of how the federal agent handled things and how he pulled me off the train and then tried to force me into a car with a woman. Now, understandably, that woman was staff, and if it was any other situation, I would have said, you know what? Let me just do what I have to do and just go to the next step of whatever this is whatever this is. But that doesn't strike anyone as fucking odd that I have PTSD because I have military sexual trauma and I have trauma from American women sexually assaulting me, sexually harassing me. And me personally, it's if you're going about your day, if you're doing your job, you're going, from here to there, and you don't talk to me, you don't harass me, guess what? You're just a regular person. Go do your thing. But if you go out of your way to either touch my knee or out of your way to try and grab my genitals or tell me how pretty I am or anything like that, in a situation where you have power over me or you have something that I need, then that's just fucked up. And that's what happened. Ever since I exited the military, I've had to deal with that over and over and over and over again. Now, understandably, that has just derailed my life. I was supposed to be a doctor. I never went to medical school because how am I supposed to even sit in class when I'm constantly thinking, I just can't have anybody near me. I can't do that. There was a time when I could have, but after being groped and harassed, and how many times I had to call LA Metro and say, "Hey, this woman just grabbed me," or this situation happened over here, and then to be told nothing comes from that. So here I am. Oh, and by the way, Dear at Night Sky today had asked the question, what is the reason why humanity cannot achieve world peace? And I said, well, it's because you don't have a mutant ambassador at the UN. You have ambassadors for your country, but they don't represent you, do they? Do they? They get up in this lovely forum of rich, intelligent people, and they say things like, you know what, we have to do something about the environment. And everybody around them goes, oh my God, just I've been waiting for someone to say that. But then they go back to their country and they say, yeah, whatever you're doing, keep doing that. Oh, the oil that you're transporting across the country, like in Canada, I'm never gonna fucking let that go. You fuckers denied me my ability to get into your face metaphorically and challenge you about how you let heating oil spill on reservation land in Canada against the Mohawk people. No, no, no. Against the Mohawk people, against First Nation people, against a protected part of your population. Poison their fucking water, poison their fucking. They want to take a shower. They have a hand in both worlds, the modern world and in the way of their ancestors. They could go down to the river and just, get into the fucking frigid water. But, I think when this happened, it was like maybe January, February. It was like fucking cold. I have to check my facts on that before I'm sure. But it's always cold in Canada. So, I mean, I'm not really out of 10 there. But Canada is supposed to be enlightened. Canada is supposed to be one of those countries that's on the cutting edge of things. But then why is it that oil is still being used in Canada? Now you could say, well, there's not enough sun. Well, I'm saying, are you looking around at the other nations? Because the other nations say it is always sunny in Philadelphia. It is always sunny. When you go up above the cloud layer, when you are literally beaming electricity down through microwaves, which will get converted into electricity. But yeah, you're beaming energy down. And you mean to tell me that you couldn't use a portion of that to heat a home without using oil? So no, 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 no. If you want world peace, you come to a mutant ambassador and say, how would you solve this? How would you solve this? Because if it's a matter of war, take your goddamn people, take your history, take your lives, and put it towards something else. The idea of borders is kind of bullshit right now. Number one, we all want to fuck foreign people. So let's just be honest about that. We look around at these locals and we say, no, 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 no. I go to Baskin Robbins, I see 32 flavors. I look around here, I see white, I see black, I see, Spanish, but they all taste like American chicken to me. So you know what? I want some Italian, I want some French, straight from the fucking source. As opposed to the watered down versions that I'm getting here with a dash of apple pie you just can't get your tongue around. And I suck some uncut cock, so I mean I know how to get my tongue around some rather interesting flavors. Either way, I want world peace. So besides the whole you wanna fuck other people thing, how about education? How about education safety? Education guaranteed, higher level education. Well, not all countries fall into that. Not all that are even considered well developed fall into that. In America, they charge you for higher education most of the time, or they put you in situations where it's, yeah, I came for the books, but there's drugs over there, there's premarital and sometimes teenage sex over there. There's bullying and anorexia over there. Oh, I'm supposed to learn when all this is going on? And Americans, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. So people come out of that system. They come out of the American education system and they are exhausted. They are traumatized. They are underdeveloped because schools as we know it never evolved. Never evolved. They started out as, I guess if you're gonna be working on the farm, it might help if you knew how to count past three, at the very least. Sure, multiplication, division tables, go for it, go wild. But now there's so many things that you need to be competent on. And sometimes those competencies are just lacking, lacking because they're being underserved by the education. What better education could you have if there was a space program like Mars Now, my company, which is specifically designed to put you on another planet? You want to learn addition, subtraction? Well, you better learn fast. You land. I have been harassed by America for far too long. I've talked about human rights. I have rights. Even as a mutant, I still have rights. Even as a citizen of America, I still have rights. I got dragged away from the Canadian border ever so nicely, gently, gently, as they lectured me the whole entire way about my president and the ICE thing, which I swear to God, you Americans started up just in case I decided to go to Canada, so Canada would have even more incentive to tell an American no. I'm supposed to be able to just differentiate between fiction and reality, but the reality is that the United Nations has been portraying itself as a champion of the people, but it's fiction. They've existed for over 50 years, I guess. I reckon, yeah. I reckon it's been over 50 years, give or take. And they haven't solved world peace. If anything, they've just patted themselves on the back, gave themselves some fancy dinners, billing the fucking people who they're supposed to represent, and they never represent them. People are going hungry. People are people are unhappy. They're unhappy in their countries because of several reasons, but some of those reasons might be I just genetically do not fit into this climate. I genetically do not fit into this lifestyle. I'm an indigenous person and I'm supposed to, at the drop of a hat, go to the fucking river and take a sip. But I live in America where they like, oh, that water? Just a chemical plant up the street, dude. You don't want to drink that. Here, have this $5 still water. It's from a secret place that no one has polluted yet. I mean, ever, ever, ever will pollute. It's only $5. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be that pushy person, but I have more claim to Canada than most Canadians that are born there. I'm an indigenous person, that's my fucking land, and you put a dotted line there and then said, stay on your side of it. Wow. I have to respect it because, I want Canada to still be there, and if they didn't have any discretion, they would have been blown up like fucking, 9/11 or Tel Aviv with all the amount of hate for the Western world. But Canada still stays there to this day because there are discerning Canadians at the border who just tell people no. And even if it's a human rights issue and it should be compassion. Canada just has lost patience with America, and I can't blame them. They're not wrong. They say, if you feel that way, go back to America and you know how this feels. So, you take that lesson and instruct your fellow people. And I should instruct my fellow people that this whole incident of immigration that we're dealing with here, we're protecting the inside of a country that has been fucking us over. We're protecting the inside of a country that devalues our family structures, devalues our personal health, devalues the community itself. At this point, we should be letting people in and say, go on, have it. Huh, have it. Because the America you get is so broken, you're gonna wish that you just never came. So, do I want world peace? Yeah. What does world peace look like? Well, I'm glad someone is asking those hard questions at night sky today. World peace is option of where to live, how to live. World peace is affluence when money is not a barrier to basic things. Options, choice, freedom, they start popping up again. When you start saying, I don't have to choose between food and rent, or I don't have to choose between an electric bill and a phone bill, when you just say, I'll always have food, I'll always have shelter, weight, the weight of the world is off your shoulders. The United Nations is wrong about world peace. World peace looks like that. World peace looks like, you know, some of us don't need mansions. It's always a goal. If you still want it, go ahead, get it. But some of us don't need it. Some of us don't want it. Some of us just want a tent, a yurt, some cold, hard ground that you could sleep on. And no one assaults you, rapes you, or in any way makes you feel less than who you are. We could start there. I don't think that really requires anything. I think that requires maybe some superheroes, some mutants, like myself, to start looking at the people around them as allies in this war on poverty, this war on minorities. And yet, white people are a minority too. White people have it very rough sometimes. Not all the time. And quite frankly, there is a slight issue of even the poorest dumb fuck who still has a lack of melanin can always get into the good boys club if you just put on some nice clothes. So there's that. But even so, they're getting shafted. Rich people are getting shafted, but they don't say it because they're so busy being fucking rich that you don't, look at me a little closer and say, why did you take my money for that? Or where did it go? Or what are you doing with the money that I give you that the road that my Mercedes has to drive over is so bumpy, I might as well be at Delphi. Like, what the fuck? Rich people are being fucked over. But rich people don't want to talk to poor people. And poor people think that the plights of the rich people aren't their struggle. World peace is maybe we just don't have poverty. Maybe affluence could be defined by something else. Health. In several of your countries of the United Nations, you treat health as a treasure chest in a dungeon that these people have to navigate toward. without any gil, without any special skills, and with monsters roaming the hall like it's Pac-Man. And that's just wrong. It's wrong because you just rob people of their lives. You rob their children of their lives. When all you have to say is, you know what health is? Health is food. Health is less stress. Health is love. The United Nations doesn't do a commission on love. Doesn't say, you know what? Fuck it. ItalianDating.com. ItalianDating.gov. Go suck some Italian salami. If they had that available, I mean, number one, my hand would be upraised so quickly you thought I was levitating. And then two, there's some people who are in Italy who were just saying, if a Brazilian wanted to be over here and suck some national dick, I would say, yeah, I'd want a piece of that. I want a piece of that juicy, delicious brown person because I don't see that around here. But if that was available, yeah, a commission on love. Where is the United Nations Commission on Love? Where is the United Nations Commission on our space programs? We have one space station that is janky as fuck and was constructed in such a dark era of technology. It's still functioning, but until when? Wouldn't it make sense to just design and launch a new one while we still can? Or here's a thought, why don't you just put a goddamn fucking factory up there and then just let it create itself? Life is up there, future's up there. As much as I'm dealing with this American bullshit of, can you scramble? Can you scramble? Can you pick up money, on the floor like a hooker on a pole? Can you do that? Can you do that? Because your lips look fucking terrible because you can't afford food right now, and you're so stressed, and you don't trust the water here because, I mean, unless I'm fucking drinking out the fucking tap, I'm dehydrated. I'm dehydrated and I'm stressed because these Americans sent that goddamn woman to derail me from my fucking train. Oh, and by the way, who's been listening to me singing that when I get on customer service lines, like every song that I sing happens to be the song that they're playing? Like, if you have that much control over, I guess, disc jockey selections, couldn't you, I don't know, maybe sign my petitions, any of them? The petition for solar power, you didn't sign. The petition for green education to be placed into our schools so that young kids could grow up knowing, when you reach an age where you will want an apartment or a house, you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to make a choice for yourself of, do you want to pay an electric bill or do you want to rely on solar? Because young kids, they're growing up and they're absorbing all of the stress. Why do you think you have a YOLO situation with kids right now? You have a YOLO situation because they watch their parents struggle, cry, fight over bills. And they say, I don't want that for my life. Fuck bills. I don't think they're wrong. I think that if the United Nations ever cared about its people, it would say, here's a choice. You can continue to live on in the world that you know and been accustomed to, or you can move forward and you can say, let's have that town where a bed is a fucking bed. You walk into this building, whatever the building is going to be called, and you say, I want to go to sleep. And they say, fine, there's a bed, sleep. That's it. You walk into a market and you say, I want some food. And they say, this is food. Here you are. And you walk out. I'm a socialist, but even more than a socialist, I'm a scientist. I'm a healer. I can't say I'm a doctor because I haven't achieved that. And I don't know if I ever will. I don't know if I even want it because all these doctors keep telling you there's something wrong with you when it's no. I think the environment plays a part in it. I think that if the environment and the government was functional, I wouldn't be anxious or people wouldn't have cancer. Cancer is a reaction. It's not a disease. It's a reaction. It's an allergy to something. And I think it should be labeled as such. And I need to make myself strong because I have to file that as a lawsuit. I have to file that as a lawsuit so that the medical boards will treat it as such. You have an allergy to something. Skin cancer is an allergy to the sun. Thyroid cancer is an allergy to maybe metals or other pollutants or sometimes radiation. It's an allergy. I have to call Amtrak and figure out what the fuck is going on here because you let what I can only consider a security incident occur on American soil going internationally. So this is huge. And I did send that tweet of that woman's face directly to Homeland, directly to FBI, directly to CIA, because it is situations like this that make me think how much of the American budget does your agency take up that you don't have any counterintelligence or intelligence on any of these situations? And if the situation was we had to fucking tackle you metaphorically in order to keep you in America, then I have to ask why. Because if it's just to torture me more, no, that's not going to happen. So once again, I will document every single time that you do it. I will document every single time you bait and switch and you shove a woman at me. Um, I just had to come from the front desk and lo and behold, my PTSD is my PTSD. The woman was doing her job. I let her do her job, let her instruct me on what I needed to do, and the exchange just finished. But sometimes you just have to say, well, why did that occur? Like, but that's just me. That's just me. Luckily, nothing happened in that particular situation. Things were handled appropriately. But I'm just never going to be comfortable talking again. Unless they're like super fucking famous, security and, cameras everywhere. Then I'd like totally be okay because, I mean, let's face it. Like, if Jean Grey wanted to hang out with me, and I mean Famke, not Sadie, cast that shade, cast that shade. I haven't even seen the new Spider-Man yet, and I'm like, I need someone who is statuesque, who is serving me cheekbones for my. I mean, look, at least Sophie Turner was giving you fucking sass. When she turned into the Phoenix, it was like, I'm sorry. Remind these bitches who the Queen of the North is. The flick of her hand, and look, just dripping with fucking drama. Just dripping with drama. If Captain Marvel wanted to fucking hang out with me, I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. You know why? I'm especially cool with because she went out of her way to do lessons in chemistry about a scientist who, let's see, had to deal with some situation where someone sexually harassed and assaulted her. I wonder if she might relate, even as an actress who just stepped into that role of someone who is brilliant, brilliant, and just treated as a pair of tits, like I was, by Master Sergeant Miranda of the United States Air Force, who saw me with my nice shaved hair and my fresh face and my giant muscles because, I'm active duty military and so I'm pumped full of testosterone. And she thought she could get a piece of that for herself. No, thank you. No, thank you. Like, how the Department of Defense just doesn't have, like, automatic, like, but you're gay, right? I mean, because there are gay units, the SEALs, there are gay units, the Rangers, Marines, gay units throughout the entire thing, all of the Navy, gay units throughout the entire thing. Like, why the Air Force let this woman try to get a piece of my Brazilian ass, I don't know why. But it sent me to the hospital, and we're here today with PTSD. Either way, I still have to use every fucking minute that I have to tell people don't suffer like I did. Actually, look at the community around you and see a potential for change. See potential for change in our economy and the way that we do business. Do people still want to cook for themselves? Do they still want to say, this is my bed that I have purchased from a company? Yeah, they're always going to think that way until you show them that life is not where you put your head down at night. It's the conversations that you have. It's the laughs that you share with people who love you. It's not how much you spent on a tomato. My name is Ian Iliona. I'm an environmentalist. I'm a werewolf. I'm a mutant. I'm a mutant ambassador in the making. Change.org/mutant ambassador. If you would like me to represent you in your country, because I think as a mutant ambassador, I think it's a bit beyond just representing the United States and their needs. I think you need to have mutant ambassadors for every single fucking country. You need people who say, I represent my people. I don't represent just feeding into this system that keeps them like cattle penned in to fucking rooms or so destitute that they never think, you know what, there's some open land over there I could just purchase and I don't know. I mean, look, I can put a house there. I can put a bed and breakfast there. Fuck, I can put a bathhouse there. Glory holes on every fucking wall. I mean, look, I'm expansive. I got dreams too. I got dreams of fucking sucking dick. So, yeah, I will be me. I will definitely be me. And I know you people feel the same exact way. Or else, something like WAP wouldn't be the biggest song. But there is wet ass pussy all throughout this country, but we still spend money on electric bills when there's a nuclear explosion that would give you enough energy and money back in your pocket that you could fucking take a bitch out on Red Lobster at least. Come on, Cheddar Bay Biscuits. I hope to see you on the next podcast. At least see if you can donate to me so I can afford chapstick. Have a good day.